Welcome to Next Nation, the podcast. I am your host, Sylvia Alston. Really excited about this weekend shows. We've got two great episodes for you this weekend. This particular episode, we are going to be talking to musician, composer, producer, director, Sedgrick Marsh. I met Sedgrick many years ago during his run as a gospel choir director. He was my choir director and super talented, super humble guy. He kind of led the direction of our choir for the 2 years that I was involved. And then he made a decision to kind of like transfer some of that experience and take it over into secular music. And he's had the opportunity to work internationally with some pretty widely known musicians. And in this episode, we just kind of get an opportunity to kick back and talk about his talent and how it matured over the years and how his parents nurtured his gift and how he came up with the knowledge and the notion and love of God and how that transcends into all of his music. He's such a wonderful spirit and such a bright light. And I am really excited about his new record, which is called Colors. And it can be found on all streaming platforms under the name Sed Marsh. He's a musician. He's a producer. He is a singer. He's a director. He's a composer. And now a guest on Next Nation, the podcast. So up next, Mr. Sedgrick Marsh. We're celebrating love all weekend, the importance of it, the necessity of it, and how it can transform and transcend, especially inside of a pandemic. Just want to give you some encouragement and some feel good this holiday season. So enjoy the episode. Hey, Sedgrick Marsh.
Hey sis, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It is
That's
so
good.
it is so good to see you. I have not seen you in it's been years now, right?
It's really been some years. Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's so good to
Yes.
see you though. You look well.
It's good to see you too. Likewise, and thank you. I appreciate it.
How's life treating you out there in them streets? They are treating you well, I know. We'll get into it, but they seem to be treating you very well.
It's been okay. It's been okay despite despite the pandemic or whatever. It's been okay. I thank God. I've been well.
That's
I've been
good. That's
yeah.
good. So,
You?
you know what? Likewise, I cannot honestly, there's with the pandemic, there's been some upheaval. There's been some,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? There's been some topsy-turvy. There's been some things that I think we all could say we wish things
Yes.
had been a lot different or a little bit of different at least. But you know, I,
Absolutely.
I'm blessed. I have lost some friends and some family members, unfortunately, due to the
Likewise, yeah.
pandemic. But I'm still kicking. So
I know it's right.
yeah, yeah. So I'm
Thank God. Thank
praise,
God.
yeah, praise God. So said I
Absolutely.
wanted to bring you on because
Hmm.
for those who may not be familiar with you, you are a musician and
Yes.
a wonderful musician at that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You've traveled all over the world.
Yes.
Had an opportunity to work with the Patti Labelle.
Yes. Hmm.
You've transcended gospel and
Yep.
into secular. And I want to talk a little bit about that, because I know you
Okay.
come from deep gospel roots, so I know
Yes.
many people probably have had their opinion of that. So I want to give
Yeah.
you an opportunity to talk a little bit about that transcending the gospel to secular music realm, how that's worked for you.
Cool. Absolutely. So, um, I come from a family of preachers. My mom, my dad were pastors. I have seven siblings besides myself, so it's eight of us. And out of the eight, five were preachers, but I'm the only musician.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I grew up um, in a very Christian home. Um, my parents didn't really play a lot of blues or, that type of music back then, growing up in the 70s or whatever. So I um I had to kind of like sneak and listen to certain stuff, like my sisters or my brothers would kind of let me listen to other music. And so making the transition it wasn't hard, but it was hard um,
Hmm.
because when your parents are pastors and preachers, they kind of expect you to follow suit,
Right.
you know. And I remember I was probably about 19, 20 years old. It was a while ago. I got an opportunity to play drums for Donnell Jones,
Oh my
and
God, I love Donnell Jones.
I love Donnell. And this is where the "Where I Want to Be" album came out. So this was
Man.
one of his biggest albums, and I got a chance to be his drummer for the tour. And my dad, at first, he didn't want me to go. He's like, "No, son, they're gonna be doing things out there." But my mom was like, "I know you're gonna be okay." So once she gave the okay, and he thought about it, he was like, "You know what? You're gonna be fine because you know what to do." So I think after I got the okay from them, it was easy. But the people, who were like,
Around you. Yeah.
right around me, or other pastors that were their friends,
Yeah.
were like, "You're gonna really let your son do this?" And my parents were like, "Yeah, I think he can handle it." And so it was a little struggle because of other preachers' kids that wanted to do it. They didn't
Right.
have the opportunity to,
Right.
and I had an opportunity. So I lost some friends behind it, which I think is a little crazy, but yeah, that's definitely it.
It's so unfortunate though that we do that to one another. I mean, it's not your situation is not unique. Um,
Right.
I grew up in a Baptist family,
Hmm.
and several of my family members are musicians and
Mm.
and
Okay.
singers. Um,
Absolutely.
but one of my aunts is a gospel singer, and she played gospel in a church. She was a church director for well over 50 years of her career. And
Wow.
and
Okay.
and and so you see it when her children made the decision to go in different directions,
Yeah.
because her husband was a pastor. You kind of saw the angst or the anxiety over
Yes.
the feeling that you're turning, almost like you're turning away from God, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I know it would make it hard for you. But let me ask you, how
Hmm.
long have you been playing instruments? Because you play the keyboard, the piano, you play the drums, you sing. When did you know you had a musical ear? Were you a trained musician, or how did you learn to play instruments?
So growing up in our old church, we had two organists and we had no drummer. And I'm 2, 3 years old, and I would just be like beating around the house, beating around the house. And my mom, I'll never forget it. She went out, her and my dad went out and got me a Muppet Babies drum set. The
Oh
Muppet
my
Babies.
god, I
Now,
remember. Oh my
you remember
god.
those?
Said we're the same. We must be in the same age group because I remember that.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
god, I remember that.
Absolutely. And I'm telling you, like I would be around the house just like bang it, bang it, bang it, bang it, bang it, and they would let me bang. And then one day, our old pastor, Bishop Bond, Roy Bond, he was like, bring him to the church and just let him play. So they would be in full service, and I'll be up there on my little kitty drum set, just playing away. I don't know what was going on, but I was playing. But it was when I got older, honestly, like about maybe 6, 7 years old, and I kind of noticed that I can hold the beat, and my parents noticed that I could, and that's kind of where it started. It started there, and
So it
and
started with
developed.
the drums, and then you taught yourself the other instruments? You taught yourself the piano?
So I did. So I had hurt my Achilles before I got out of high school. This is so funny. I hurt my Achilles and I couldn't play drums. And I asked my parents, I was like, can I have a keyboard? They were like, a keyboard? We're not going to get you a keyboard. I'm like, yeah, I need a keyboard. And my dad got me a keyboard. And this is no lie. He would pray for my hands every Sunday at church or when we went home. My father, he'd call me and he'd be like, come here, son. He would like literally put oil on my hand and just him and my mom would pray for my hands. And I would just start listening to music and listening to jazz and the Hawkins singers, you know what I'm saying? And
Mm.
that right there just like really got me together. So yeah, I kind of learned on my own and developed in there and just started studying and God just really like blessed me to have the gift as well as playing drums.
So
Because
you never had
drums is my profession.
drums. Yeah, you never had lessons then.
Oh no. Never I never had a piano lesson. No more than sitting with my friends, like, hey man, show me something, something like that. But a professional piano lesson or going to
Wow.
school to study, never. No.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
what a gift. And then when did you
Absolutely.
realize because you are multi-talented, you play
Mhm.
multiple instruments and you sing.
Yes. Yes.
So when did you realize that all of these gifts were coming together at once? And when you said your dad was praying for your hands, that really like
Mhm.
that sent a little wave through my spirit. Were you raised Church of God in Christ or Baptist or?
So we were just raised Pentecostal, just Church of God. We just, old Pentecostal church,
Mm-hmm.
family type church, and yeah, that was pretty much it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy. It's not crazy, but it's kind of crazy because even if a guest church came and they had a drummer, I would sit there and watch, and then my dad would immediately call me up. Like when they did prayer line, you remember they used to do prayer line
Yeah,
back in the
the
day.
prayer line.
And then he would just, lift your hands and put, just pray for me and pray for my hands and pray for God to give me an understanding of what He's given me. So they knew way before I did, and they just poured that into me, and it kind of went from there.
So you went on tour with Donnell Jones. I want to say Where I Want to Be album. I'm trying to place it because that album was significant into my dating career. So I want to say that album was like 98,
Yes,
99.
it was 98. I graduated
I
high
knew
school
it.
in 95,
Okay.
and I went on tour with him in like 98, 99. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I knew. I could tell you that Where I Want to Be album by who I was dating at that time because that album
Right.
That album was very, very significant to my dating career. Wow,
Wow.
that's an amazing album.
Oh yeah. Amazing. Yes,
Wow, so you are
absolutely.
on tour. You are on tour with that. It's crazy. It's
Yes.
crazy.
Yes, I
Yeah, what was that
was.
experience like traveling internationally? Because I know Donnell's
Oh
music has
man.
taken him all over the world.
Oh yeah, he was going everywhere. It was amazing. So this was like my first major tour. I'd never been on tour before. I didn't know anything about it. I always wanted to do it, but I didn't know the ins and outs. And this kind of set me up for like the rest of my career and everything that I'm doing now from then to now.
Mhm.
And it was amazing. It was Donnell Jones. It was music when music first came out, Music Soul Child.
Yeah,
Kelly Price. It was Belle
yeah,
Biv DeVoe,
yeah.
and it was just an amazing, amazing tour. And he went all around the country. And that's where I kind of, well, I'll say this, I'll say church prepared me for it.
Okay.
And when I got there, I learned a lot when I got there. It was my first time. I learned so much, but church really prepared me for that. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful for that whole experience.
Mm, mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm.
And he was a
Okay.
church kid. He was a
Yeah,
church kid.
right. So it's so funny. Donnell Jones was a client of mine. About
What?
yeah. He was a client of mine about 10 about 10 or 12 years ago. He was a client. I mean, he's
Mm.
not a client anymore, but yeah,
Okay.
I
Okay.
handled his insurance and I did actually our firm did some of his touring. So um
Wow.
yeah, so I that's
That's good.
another reason why I remember that. But and then he went on to do production for Madonna
Yep. Yep.
and other great things which I never understood why he stopped singing because his
Me either.
albums were incredible.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing, good stuff. Oh yeah,
Good stuff,
absolutely,
good stuff, good stuff.
absolutely.
So you've toured, you've had the
Mhm.
opportunity even before Miss Patty, you've had the opportunity
Oh yeah,
to tour with some wonderful musicians, some great live
absolutely,
instrumentation. Music Soul Child has a great live band as well. Uh,
amazing. Oh yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, you've been able to travel with some great musicians. Who are some of your musical influences? And don't separate between gospel and secular. Like I want to hear the
Oh
range
no,
of music that you love.
I definitely. It's actually it's kind of hard to separate them because they do both,
Mhm.
and um, a lot of my peers, like Aaron Spears or a Gerald Haywood or
Mm.
oh man, Calvin Rogers. You know, they all do both. And then even some of the younger guys that are playing now, my influences. And back in the day, you know, you got people like Dennis Chambers who played with Parliament Funkadelics and,
Wow.
you know, Stevie, oh man, played a major part. Major part.
Mhm.
Um
I would
Stevie was a
imagine.
oh yeah, Stevie, Prince, you know, these guys they played everything. So I would
Let me
listen
ask
to
you,
that stuff.
when you
Hmm.
play Stevie and Prince, ooh, good. You named some great, you named really great musicians. When you play, when I think of Stevie Wonder, when I think of his most melodic song, where like sometimes like tears will just run down my eyes.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
when I think of If It's Magic, you know, where
Yes.
he has the piano, he has the harp, you
Yes.
know, and the violin. It's just like,
Oh yeah.
it just like it runs all through you. Growing up around live music, live
Oh
instrumentation.
yeah.
My grandmother played the piano, you know.
Wow.
My aunts played the piano. We sung every Christmas. Those are when I think about the holidays, I think about childhood.
Oh
Those are the
yeah.
memories that I miss the most, you know,
Absolutely.
what music does for the soul, you know?
Yes.
Um,
Absolutely.
those are the things that are inspiring me. So give me some more of your musical influences because I just loved it.
Oh man, I would say there was a guy by the name of Bud Ellison, who was the brother of Tommy Ellison. Tommy Ellison was a gospel old school singer, quartet singer. So I would say like Bud Ellison. And then
Mm,
people from Jersey, Linnell Andrews or James Perry, Vernon Crow. You know, even though Vernon plays bass, the way he played then and still now, so like just the rhythms, the different rhythms he would play.
mhm,
And these people like really influenced my playing. A older gentleman by the name of Dwayne Johnson, a friend named Paul Curtis. These guys like influenced my playing to be what it is.
mhm.
Absolutely.
As a musical artist, do you
Hmm.
play the instruments as well as sing? Do you sing your own background and that kind of thing too? Because when I listen to your new song Colors, which we'll
Hmm.
talk about in a few,
Yep.
when I listen to your song and then I just remember your direction because I have had the opportunity to work under your musical direction as well.
Yes.
And you have such a range of voice, you know.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You can definitely I remember when you were training us for altos, you know, you would sing the melody to us to make sure that we were
Yes.
in key and tell us when we were off so you can go across range. Do you do your own backup as well? Background
So
vocals as well?
I do. I do a lot of my background vocals. On my single that we'll talk about in a minute. I actually have a friend of mine. Her name is Dominique Smith. She was on American Idol. She's like really dope. She helped me sing it. But for the most part, I kind of do all of my backgrounds and I'll sketch out the music of what I want to be played or if I'm going to play it. Or
Mhm.
sometimes I'll call my friends up and say, hey, man, I need you to come over and play this record for me. But I'll pretty much play it for them. And they'll laugh and be like, dude, why don't you just play the record like you played the record? And I'm like, no, you know, I want to hear your feel on it or whatever. But for the most part, I kind of play and do everything. Yeah.
So you're composing your own music. That's awesome. That's
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
Thank you.
Tell me, you know, because I want to talk about during the time that you were my musical director. You were still in the church realm then,
Yes.
which was how we actually had an opportunity to meet. When did you know that you were going to leave from being a musical director even to go on and travel the world and do several things?
Mm.
What was that decision process like?
So it was kind of hard. Um, it was kind of hard because church is all I won't say it's all I know, but it plays such a major uh,
Mm-hmm.
role in my career and in my life, even now, just period. Just the
Mm-hmm.
love that I have for God, and I prayed about it. I had a lot of opportunities. Some opportunities I didn't take.
That you turned down, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, because I just didn't want to be. Um, I didn't want to be connected to it. Not that it was a bad situation, but it was just a choice that I made. So I definitely prayed a lot about it. Um, I seek wise counsel. At the time, Pastor Wilcox was our pastor, and you know, besides serving under my dad, serving with Pastor Wilcox, he would just say, "Man, if God tells you to go, go." And I feel like that's what he's saying, to you. And he will often say, him and my dad, they will often say, God will open up doors for you,
Yeah.
and He'll open up windows, and you won't have room enough to receive it. Just pretty much giving me the word, and that was literally happening to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, People will call, "Hey, are you available to do this, or can you do that?" And I did Soul Train Music Awards with Karen Clark and Kiara when
Yeah.
Kiara was just coming up, and those different opportunities were happening. But when I decided to really go, I got an opportunity to do the Labelle Reunion Tour, which was Patti and Sarah Dash and Ona Hendricks, the original Labelle group.
Yeah.
And I got an opportunity to play drums and sing background. And that's
For
when I
the
kind of made
Labelles.
it.
Woo.
Oh yeah, for the Labelles, and that
And
was
you could sing if you're gonna sing behind Patty. Say it, I'm telling you. Like for the folks who don't know,
right.
if
That's
Patty ain't inviting nobody, that Philly music sound is
oh yeah,
so sincere. That is
it is.
that is true musicianship. You gotta come with the come on if you're gonna sing,
Oh
in,
yeah,
in that realm, so that you can sing back up for the Labelles. Just I don't
yeah.
even have to tell them, your voice is incredible. Absolutely.
Oh, I appreciate it. It was definitely a humbling experience. It was an honor to do so. Just to be around them and to be in their space, it was very humbling. And for Miss Patty to say, "Well, I think you can sing and play, can't you?" And I was like, "Yes, ma'am, I can." And you know, and again, church prepared me. Growing up, uh, my parents would have me singing and playing drums, so it was kind of second nature. Doing it while I'm in service, and got to concentrate on playing, but still singing, and so it kind of prepared me for it, and it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I'll never forget it, and
We're
truly humble and
talking
thankful.
we're talking to Sedgrick Marsh, musician, composer, producer,
Yes,
songwriter, vocalist. I'm
yes,
your host, Sylvia Austin. This is Next Nation. We'll be right back.
I'm Noah.
And I'm Ava.
And you're listening to our mom,
Sylvia K. Austin on Next Nation, the podcast. Yes, sir.
We are back, like we never left. Here talking to Sedgrick Marsh. Sedgrick, man, what a segment. So
yes,
Patti Labelle says, I think you can play and sing. Were you
yes.
nervous or do you just bust out on the
Ooh,
keyboard? Like what? Because I mean, this is Patti.
was I nervous? Let me tell you, the first time I met Miss Pat was 2000. I want to say 2005.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she had to do Good Morning America, and I was so intimidated, you know.
The big
And
personality for sure.
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was super intimidated, and she came up to me. She was like, "You wouldn't be here if you couldn't play." And this was before she knew I can sing. And I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "So I need you to play and just get comfortable." So that right there just kind of made me comfortable. And years later, the Labelle Reunion Tour, and she was like, "I think you can do both." And I was like, "Okay." Still a little timid, but I've known her at this point. I've known her maybe 6, 7 years, so it wasn't as bad. So I was kind of okay actually. It was a lot of work though.
We're talking about Patti Labelle. Yes, I would
Oh
imagine.
my
Yeah.
gosh, it was. I
But you
mean, so
traveled,
much
that
work.
that allowed you to travel internationally, that tour, right?
Oh yeah. Actually, before I did that tour, I went overseas with Angie Stone. I was
Oh, another
playing
voice I
playing
love.
drums for Angie.
Oh,
Angie would call me off the drums. I mean, we're in a stadium or the Palladium. I never forget it, the Palladium in Amsterdam. And she
oh
was like,
wow.
"My drummer can sing." And she called me off the drums. It's a sold out show. And she just like threw me out to the wolves. And
And
it
what'd you
was
sing?
what were we doing?
Not Black Brother.
Baby. If I was your baby, baby,
Oh,
baby,
I love
baby.
that song.
She was doing that record.
I love that.
And she just called me out and just let me sing. And
That's some
yeah,
mean drums in Baby. Those are some mean drums in Baby.
some mean
Baby,
drums.
that's a mean drum set in Baby. Yes.
Yes, yes, it
That's a
is.
that yeah, yeah. She always has a strong drum sound in her
Oh
in
yeah,
her music.
absolutely,
Angie,
absolutely.
Jill
Oh yeah,
Scott,
oh
Erica
yeah,
Badu,
yes.
Lettucey, they
Mhm.
have a huge respect for drums in their music. Yeah,
They really do. So
yeah.
that
And you
was
think
that was
that's crazy
actually
because
so
drummers don't get that kind of respect. Like they don't
so
always
true.
get the kind of respect in the musical makeup.
That's
Um,
true.
so that's crazy that she brought you up on it, and I'm sure you nailed it.
Yeah, she kind of kept doing it for the rest of the tour, like every night. I was like, "Girl, are you crazy?" Yeah. But it was so cool. And Miss Patty loves drums.
Mm.
She loves drums. She wants to feel the drums, and yeah, it's an amazing experience. It
So when
really is.
you tour as a drummer and not as a pianist, because I know you as a pianist.
Yes, I toured as a drummer. So, um, every tour that I've done, I've toured as a drummer, unless I had to do like some programming on the
Mhm,
side or something like
mhm.
that. But other than that, yeah, it's been drums, and it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing. And when they found out, when certain artists found out I could play keys, they would have me to like just like program like different things, whether it's a string patch or a piano patch or something like that. So
Are
it's
you
been
at a
really good.
Are you at a piano now?
I am. I'm
You
sitting
are.
at my piano in the
I did
crib.
not. I was like the angling of the image. I was like, I wonder is he at? Wonder is he
You
at
can
a?
see the drums in the you see the
I
drums in the
see. I see
background.
it. I see the drums. I see the drums. But you sitting at a piano now. All right. So Sed, I'm gonna put you on the spot because if the piano was there, then I mean, why wouldn't we just give a little, just a little taste, just a little taste of the piano? And I'm such a huge fan of yours anyway.
Oh my gosh, sis, that's
I'm putting you on the spot. I'm sorry.
oh
I'm pulling an Angie Stone.
like for real, for real. So you okay?
Oh wait, well let me tell you something. Let me tell you
Mhm,
something. I'll
mhm.
never forget this. I will never
Okay.
forget this. We were singing at Crossing Crown Christian Church,
Oh my
and
gosh.
no, 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 and you were playing, and every now and then you were a bit of a jokester.
I
So
am.
you are a bit of a jokester, and so you were playing, and we were singing, and I can't remember what song we were singing, but you changed in the melody. You added in Alicia Keys, and I'm like,
Oh gosh, wow.
I'm singing, and I'm like, hold on, I'm like, I know that beat, and I'm like, that's Alicia Keys, like
Yeah.
he He's taking me from church straight up to the club, and I can't remember. It's Alicia Keys. Um, um, we can fight like Ike and Tina. That song.
I knew you. I knew it. I knew you was gonna say that. Yes.
That's what you played on the background or whatever we were singing, and I was like, "Sed he is such a mess." Bringing Alicia Keys into the church, but it was so funny. Only a couple of us caught it. I'm like, this Negro is playing Alicia Keys while we singing gospel music.
I put a little keys in there. Yes, I did. You know, it's good. It's such good music. It's good music.
It's good music.
Good music.
It's good, and good music is good music. That's what I wish the church.
That's the thing. Yeah,
I wish the church understood that. You know, that
Me
good
too.
music is good music. You know what I mean?
Music is good music.
Yeah.
And I hope we can get to the point to where some of the music is played in the church. Like even the song I made, my brother Ahmed wrote it for me, Colors. It's a wedding song. It's about love, and God is love.
Yeah.
And so I think we eventually we get there to that point where you can have a song that's not it's not disrespectful to God, but it's love.
But you know
And
why that's important? You know why that's important is because I think new age Christians,
yes,
the ways of old school church have been so strict and disciplined for so long that people don't feel like they can come to church as themselves.
That's true.
And so the church is losing, so many people, especially young folks, because they don't feel accepted, And so it's great. I love when I can see churches reach out to younger generations, right? And do what they can to try to encourage them to stay inside the will of God, to to teach them about God, but to also not necessarily embrace the world, but to even just try to understand the world that they live in,
Oh no, absolutely.
Because it's necessary,
It is necessary, and they are the church of tomorrow and even today.
Yeah.
So it's imperative that we as believers, even if you're not a believer, but if you are a believer, that we reach out to them and try to give them guidance,
Sure.
And I think once we all do that, the world can really, be a better place, Not that it's so bad, but it could definitely be a better place.
For
We
sure.
need the youth. We need them.
We need for sure.
We need them.
And that's to me, that's an intergenerational conversation. It's just
Absolutely
reaching forward and reaching back because the youth need the wisdom of the elders, Even
So
the
true.
youth, the youth need the wisdom of our generation. I think our generation we're still figuring it out. We're still on the path, but and maybe we haven't done the best job of being, the right mentors. But
That's true.
It has to be an intergenerational conversation about how we reclaim family, how we treat one another, how we move forward in faith as believers, non-believers, and then across faith disciplines, because not everybody believes. There are people who don't believe what I believe, but they deserve respect. And getting rid of this last administration, even it was, I think it's going to be a turning point and a change in direction for hopefully how we see one another, how we respect how people worship and that kind of thing,
Absolutely. Totally important, and I agree.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
It is definitely important. So I'm still putting you on the spot. I'm not letting you move past this.
I thought we was moving past it.
You move past it. I'm not.
I really thought we were over that.
Nope, nice. I know how to go back. I know how to dial back. Here's the thing. I am a fan of yours. I am a fan of yours.
Means so much to me, sis. Like seriously, because your body of work.
Thank you.
I don't know if people really know, but you're really somebody in this industry. And I remember I was at Sirius Radio with Damian Sneed, and I just seen you casually walking through the hallway. I'm like, wait, is that Sylvia? And people were calling on you like, Sylvia, hey, no. I was like, yo, this, like, you just never know because you're so quiet and humble.
I try.
And, you know, when you're that way, blessings just keep flowing and God takes care of his people. So I'm humbled to know you, honestly.
Oh,
And
come on.
to be connected to you, it's a blessing. So I'm thankful.
Oh, said thank you. That means so
Yeah,
much to me. It truly
absolutely.
does. It means so much to me. So back to this
Absolutely.
fandom. I am a fan of yours. Um,
Oh
for
man.
those who do not know, Sed was my former musical director when I thought I wanted to sing in the church.
Come on. Come on here. Oh yes.
Yes,
Do the singing.
I learned a lot. I learned a lot from you. So you're in
Appreciate
front
it
of
so much.
a piano and you have a beautiful song. You talk about it as a wedding song. My husband and I are doing an episode that's going to play after this
Mhm.
year's. And
Cool.
I told you while I asked you, I said, can I please have your permission to use the song in the episode because it's such
Thank you so much.
it really is. So you said your brother wrote the song.
Yep. He's like a brother to me. His name is Ahmed Wallace. So it's crazy. Ahmed sung on the Miseducation album, Lauren Hill.
Of Lauren Hill.
Oh yeah. He wrote on that
So did
album.
you know that? Did you know Lauren Hill and I went to high school together?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, we grew up together. Yes, we
Get
did.
out of here.
Yes, yes.
That's
And there are
crazy.
some wonderful musicians from Jersey on that album.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Donovan Jackson,
Yes,
Joe Wilson. Oh yeah,
yes,
absolutely. Yeah.
yes. Okay, so he played and he wrote on the Lauren Hill album.
So yeah, he sung background, and after that, he wanted to pursue his career. So he's like, this is about man, 13, 13, 12, 13, 14 years ago. He's like, bro, I got this song. I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, I need you to put music to it. Da 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 da. So it's like, all right, cool. So we sat down. He started singing it, and myself and my friend Gerard, we put the music to it. I produced it for him then,
So I was
and
gonna say, you said 13 years ago
this is about 13 years ago.
for the
13.
color song.
Yeah, he wrote it
Okay,
back then.
so I was gonna tell you that the song to me doesn't sound like what I hear in terms of music on the radio today, which
Oh
is
no,
another
that
reason why I love the song.
I appreciate it. And so what I did was I I took away some words, added a couple more words, and did all of the music over.
Mm.
Like literally sat down and played it, started singing it, and then I called in a few of my friends. I'm like, hey man, I think I'm gonna do colors over. Called him. We got everything cleared, and so I start putting the music to it the way that it is now. And yeah, and I think it's timeless music.
It re-
And
that's what I felt. That's what
I
I
think
felt.
it's timeless, and people are not doing music like that no more.
So I was gonna
Every
say that. I was gonna say
everything is
this new R&B. I had a conversation with a friend recently. You
mhm,
just looked at the camera like, yo.
yeah,
So I had a conversation with a friend recently, and I said, what I call R&B is what Apple and Spotify refer to as neo soul. They don't even call it R&B anymore.
they don't. And you're absolutely correct.
Because R&B now, when I select R&B on my Apple playlist or Spotify or Tidal, what I hear
Yeah,
is straight up rap music
yes,
that
rap.
just slower. That's just slowed down. I
Yep,
mean,
that's
I don't
all.
in my R&B, I don't want to be called a bitch. You know what I mean?
Come
I don't
on,
I don't want to be called a bitch in my R&B. I just don't.
absolutely not.
It's not that's not gonna make me feel sexy. You know what I
No,
mean?
no, absolutely not. You might feel like fighting. I don't know if you know.
Exactly. So I mean, I just this current R&B, it just feels like it's missing love, you know? And so I
It
was gonna
is.
say to you that this music didn't feel current to me, and I love that about it.
I really appreciate it. And so on my team, besides me, I write, Ahmed writes, my brother Dave Drake, he writes, he's a producer. He plays with like Tiana Taylor and
Nice.
all these amazing artists. and we just kind of come together. And I'm like, the industry is missing real music. We got PJ. PJ is like one of the only ones with Sam. He's
PJ
this new
Morton.
artist. What is it? Sam a lot? I think he is.
Yeah.
He's out of New York. Like so. So they're like, to me, two of the only artists that's doing it, and especially PJ. And I'm like, everybody know I can play drums. Everybody know I can play keys. A
Yeah.
lot of people don't know I can sing,
Yeah.
and I want to bring back that feeling, that love feeling that the real music gave us. Like, when we were kids or when our parents were growing up, when Sam Cooke was singing or Marvin Gaye, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just kind of the direction where my music is. And even with ballads, I have this ballad called You that was written by Jubu Smith. And it's an amazing love song that's going to actually come out on Valentine's Day. But
Nice. Nice. Nice.
um,
So all
I'm
right,
just
so
trying to
you
make
got to
you
throw
feel good
something.
music.
You got to throw something
Hmm?
together. You got to throw something together. I'm giving you. I'm gonna give you 3 minutes. You gotta throw something together because I really want to hear it.
Oh gosh. Okay. Um, let's see. Let's see. Three.
Come on,
Maybe I do
Sed.
a
Stop
little
acting
bit
like
of
this is so
colors.
difficult for you. Like you just reach into your bag and pull out one of the many. Cut it out.
Um. So should okay. Cool. So should I do a little bit of colors or
I want to hear.
should I,
Sure, I want to. I would love to hear color.
so all right. So I'm explaining colors. So colors is a song for everybody.
Yes.
Um. Um. And the different colors just describes what the person means to you. Male, female, doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
We live in a world where love is love, and so um, just whoever you love. You know.
I
So
love that.
let me see.
I love that.
Yeah, I don't. There's no discrimination on that. So let me see. Red is the color that I see when I think about you. Gold is the color of the warmth you bring my way. Orange, you're glad that we chose to stay together. White is the color on our wedding day. I remember you asked me just what you meant to me, and I had a loss for words. Then I had a dream, baby, you were taken from me. So I came up with these words. Ooh, I'm grateful to the Lord up above for sending you to me to love.
Yes.
Yes, colors. That's colors.
Yes. Oh, Cedric Marsh, you are so freaking talented. Like it is.
Oh, thank you so much.
No, seriously, it is so heartwarming. Like I am in expectation of what God is going to do in your life.
Thank you so
And
much.
no, I'm so excited because when you know good people and you
Yes,
know what the music industry is missing, and then you hear something exciting,
yes,
just so vibrant like this, um, it just gives me all of those. There's no reason to me why Colors couldn't be the wedding anthem of 2021 or 2022. The next 5, 10 years, like a song like
absolutely.
I can't think of his name. What was his name? Tony Terry's song.
Oh, when
Um,
I'm with you. Oh
when
my
I'm with you.
God,
That
yes.
song was that became a wedding song for like 10, 15 years, right?
Yes.
Tamia's song, Tamia and Eric Benet,
Oh
something
yeah.
like that, like those kinds of beautiful ballads and melodies that just every time you hear it, it puts you in good headspace and makes you think about the one you love, whoever
That's
that
true.
one is. That's what I feel when I hear Colors. Um,
Wow.
I'm serious. I am not
Thank you
hyping you
so
up.
much. That means everything.
I'm not hyping you up. That's what I feel when I hear it. And I'm just praying that it gets the exposure, you know,
Absolutely. Likewise.
because because it is definitely that kind of ballad.
Thank
We're
you.
up against a quick another break, but
Cool.
I want to talk to you about independent music when we come back. I'm here with Sedgrick
Okay.
Marsh. I'm your host, Sylvia Austin. This is Next Nation. We're gonna take a quick break and we'll come right back.
I'm Noah,
And I'm Ava.
and you're listening to Our Mom.
Sylvia K. Austin on Next Nation, the podcast. Yes, sir.
We are back.
Yeah.
All right, Sed,
Yes.
the music industry.
Mm-hmm.
I know I can talk about this with you. So
Yes.
I want to do it. The music industry is a beast.
Yes.
It feels as if, with uh the way music is changing, the way our connection to music is changing, how we access from between platforms and streaming and
Mhm.
that kind of thing. Everything is changing. So
Yes.
independent, you are an independent artist.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Um, is that the direction that you think is best for musicians who want to hold on to autonomy, and creative control at this juncture?
I would say yes. Um, because signing deals, when you get that bonus up front, you may sign a deal with somebody, they give you 200,000, 100, whatever they give you, you have to pay that money back. And a lot of times that money is used for budget to get your album done.
Right.
So it's really not even your money.
Right.
Honestly, it's a small loan
Right.
until your record comes out. And I think as an independent artist, it's better to do it yourself. You can kind of own everything. You can own your masters.
Right.
You own your music, your copyrights, everything. Um, it's more expensive
For sure. For the artist. Yeah.
for the artist.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter who you know in the industry. It's very expensive, but it's worth it. And I'm looking at it as, I do this now. I leave a legacy for my daughters and my grandchildren. And so it's better. It's better. And I'm hands on everything.
Right. Yeah.
I'm hands on. I don't have to wait for um the record
Clearances.
label.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. I don't have to wait on them to get back to me about an idea or,
Mm.
X, Y, and Z, or if I need some files flown in.
Yeah.
I'm hands on. My laptop is right here,
Right. Yeah.
so I
Mhm.
can kind of just do it myself. Of course, I have people around me that's helping and that, helps to supervise and make sure things get done right. But for the majority of it, it's 95% me.
Yeah.
And I like it better that way. And a lot of people that I'm talking to, even that are established artists. Miss Patti is now independent. She's not signed
Wow. I
to
didn't
nobody
realize
no
that.
more.
Okay.
Oh yeah, she's not signed no one. Miss Patty's been in the business 50, 60 years.
Yeah.
And she says, I wish I would have went independent a long time ago
Mm.
because everything is for you. So yeah, I would say the independent route is amazing. It is a test.
It's harder work and a slower build.
It exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Your faith may get tested, but you got to trust the process.
Yeah.
And here I am. I've been playing and doing stuff for other people for so long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it got to a point I felt
For
like I
20
couldn't
over
do
20
it.
years you've been. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. My first tour at 19. Here I am now, 40 something, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I just thought it was like too late to do it independently. And I was like, no, it's never, one thing my father would always say, he would say, son, if you put your mind to it, you can do it.
Yeah.
And that's just my whole motto behind doing this entire project. So independent is the way.
So, it's so a lot of aha moments there because for
Mhm.
me in podcasting,
Yeah,
when I knew that I wanted to walk away from the big brand name, you know,
yeah.
and I know that a lot of people kind of determine your worth or decide your capability by who, the brand name that you're associated with.
Oh,
And,
absolutely.
and so I knew I was going to lose some appeal, if you will,
Hmm.
if I were no longer attached to a big brand name.
Hmm.
But the
Hmm.
freedom of
Oh
creativity
man.
with independence, like I feel more
Yes.
creative now, being independent than I've ever felt before. I just feel the possibility
Oh
and
yeah.
the alignment to create in a way that I don't think I had honestly conceptualized when I was a part of a brand, you know?
Absolutely. No, I
Um
totally understand.
so it like you said, it's a slower process, but
Yeah.
creatively, being able to hold on to your creative ideas as opposed to having some young hotshot 20-year-old white boy telling you that,
See?
that's not what's selling right now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And you
Absolutely.
don't know the genre, you don't know the artistry, you don't know the music.
Yes.
Um, so I feel you. I really do. I feel
Oh
you.
yeah.
And sometimes I think we can allow our worth to be determined by people who don't know,
Oh
you
my
know?
gosh. Oh
Yeah.
man. Yeah. No, I totally agree. You said a mouthful. Like I totally agree. And especially if they are giving you the money or they are, advancing or
Mhm.
whatever, and it's just like they kind of feel like they can, say what they want to say, or no, we're not going to accept that. And it can be a great song. I know some artists who I'm very close with, gospel and R&B, like big name artists, because their label said no, they missed out on hits. And the writer put put the song out, song became a hit. So I again, I would say independently because you kind of have the leisure to kind of present to the world what God is giving you to give them, and you don't really have nobody to say, no, that song is not good.
Right.
That's not a good song,
Yeah.
and you shouldn't do that because I don't think so. Yeah, if you do it independent, you can kind of do what you want, honestly.
Let me ask you about music shows.
Hmm.
We've seen Pharrell just put out a music show on Netflix that was
Hmm.
amazing about the
Yeah.
quiet, about the quiet.
Yep.
Um, we've got The Voice, we've got Idol, we've got the international shows, America's Got Talent. You know,
Yes.
um, what are your thoughts in terms of the direction that you'll move to make sure that the song gets the attention it deserves? I'm even thinking about the song when I heard the song. I thought about Issa Rae, who I absolutely
Oh yeah.
adore. This is
Oh
the
yeah.
final season of Insecure,
Hmm.
and I'm thinking about the song, like what it would be like to hear Colors on an episode of Insecure, because she's
Oh
always
man, you
pushing
scared you.
forward. Yeah, oh, she's always pushing forward new musicians and new music, in that
Yeah.
way. She gives them an opportunity to be seen and be heard. So that's like what I think when I hear this song, like those are the directions that I'm
Absolutely.
hopefully, that the song will be able to move towards.
That's I'm definitely trying to get into that. And my best friend, um, we're super close since we're about 10, 11 years old. He does film and he's into that. And he's trying to help me actually get the song placed. So that's big. I can hear the song on um, a big screen movie. I can hear it on a sitcom, anything. I think the song kind of fits any situation,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's bringing good vibes about love, and you kind of remind people when they first fell in love again. Two
Yeah.
lovers together forever, the
Yeah.
signature on the first love letter. Like we used to write love letters when we were kids, or we would write, "Do you like me?" Check yes or no.
For
You know what I'm
sure.
saying?
For
So
sure.
it kind of takes you back to that mode. And I've been like trying to reach out to Tyler Perry's people. I just been trying to reach out to multiple people so they can hear it, because I believe the song has the potential to be national, like everywhere. I believe it can really be the next big thing.
Well, so was this interview said, and I got to tell you, I know some folks who know some folks, so I'm gonna do everything that I can
I
to
appreciate that.
pull
That's
pull the
humbling.
support for this song and put that behind you because I believe in you. I know
Thank you.
you. I know you. I know what you're capable of. I
Thank
know
you
your
so
work
much.
ethic. I know your work product, and this
Thank you.
song, man, it just deserves all of the accolades that
Thank you so much. That means so much to me, honestly. Worked
yeah.
hard on it. And, when you're spending your own money, it's like, oh, man,
It's
it's tight.
hard in them streets when you're spending your own money. It is
Woo,
for sure.
it's hard,
Yeah.
but I I definitely believe the work that I put into Colors and into the EP, the money that was spent, I feel like it's going to come back. I feel like God is going to open up a window somewhere and somebody will hear it and be like, I need that. And it could be a life changing moment for me to really push my music out. I'm not trying to be the richest person in the world. I just want to touch people, honestly.
Well, we're gonna
You
do
know,
it, Sad. I'm gonna do everything that I can to support you. I promise you. You
I
know,
appreciate that.
um,
Seriously.
I am. I'm gonna do everything that I can to support you. I love having you on. I
Thank you.
appreciate you, and we got more work to do because I've got not
Absolutely.
a favor to ask, but there's something that I want you to do. And
Okay.
I'm gonna talk to you about it, and we'll definitely, as the song is growing and the brand is
Yes.
getting bigger, please come back because
Absolutely.
any and every way that we can
Absolutely.
support your movement and what you're doing, I want to know about it. So,
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
all
Thanks for
right.
having me.
Thank you, Sedgrick Marsh, everybody. Sedgrick Marsh for Next Nation. I appreciate you saying, go out, go forth, my brother, go forth.
Absolutely. I'm going.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, sis. Thank you.
All right, God bless.
Yes.
That was Sedgrick Marsh. Colors is the single, and you can find it on most listening platforms. It is available on Spotify. It's available on Apple. Please check it out. Colors, everybody. I'm your host, Sylvia Austin. We'll see you soon. Next Nation, the podcast, would like to thank Sphere Podcast Studios in Houston, Texas, under the direction of Gary Lee. Our creative launch team, Latif Harris, Devon Warren, Emo Rice, Tiffany Thompson, Tanisha Malone, Hugh Cardis. Music production by Jean-Pierre Zephyr. My writing coach, Linda Jones of The Writing Doula. Spiritual leader, Reverend Timothy Atkins Jones. And finally, my family. My husband and associate producer, James J. Alston. Thank you, honey, for all of your love and support of this effort. My mom, Shirley Key. Mommy, I love you forever and always. And finally, my children, Noah and Ava Alston, who also act as junior producers for Next Nation, the podcast. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you soon.